Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to this wonderful episode of the Weekly Market Outlook. My name is 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗧, and I'm super glad to have every one of you watch this video. Basically, the Weekly Market Outlook that we normally do every Monday is to show you of the week ahead in the financial market. We're going to be considering a whole lot of economic happenings that are going to cause volatility in the market. We're also going to be looking at the strength of the dollar, a comparison to many of the instruments that the dollar is being paired with, and of course, yes, we're going to look at the weekly market move that is actually expected for some of the assets that we usually trade every single day. And that's exactly what we're going to do. All right, so let's just jump in for the economic happenings that we're expecting this week. So yes, Monday is going to be a nice and very cool day for the market because there is no high impact expected news for Monday, except for 4 p.m. Nigerian time, when we will be expecting the ISM services PMI news, which is going to be affecting the United States dollar. But of course, we know that it's not going to be like that of last week, where we saw the the NFP caused a whole lot of high market volatility in the financial market. So basically, this week, all eyes is centered on two of the days, which is on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and then on Friday. Why Tuesday and Wednesday? I'm going to show you that just right away. So yes, on Tuesday, we have the interest rates statements for the Australian dollar, okay, and the Reserve Bank of Australia by 4:30 a.m. Nigerian time will be reviewing their interest rates. Currently, the Australian economy interest rate stands at about 2.85%. And of course, they are looking at increasing this to about they are looking at about increasing this almost 30 point basis or thereabouts. Okay, so of course, if there is an increase in the interest rate in the Australian economy, we all definitely know that the Australian dollar will be somewhat made stronger, right? So we'll be expecting a bullish movement where we have the Australian dollar as the base, and of course some sort of a little bullish movement in cases where we have the Australian dollar as the quote. All right, and then of course, on Wednesday, we're also having the Bank of Canada will also be reviewing their interest rates. Okay, and that will be happening 4 p.m. Nigerian time. Sorry, 4 p.m. Nigerian time. And of course, currently the Canadian economy interest rate stands at 3.75%, and of which they are looking at increasing this by about 25 basis points, which is to bring it to about 4%. All right. If that happens, also we would be looking at a stronger Canadian dollar in the coming week. Let's not also forget that on Wednesday by 1:30 a.m., perhaps we in Nigeria must have not woken up from sleep, but we're expecting the GDP quarter to quarter for the Australian dollar as well. So from Tuesday 4:30 a.m. till Wednesday, of course, there will be a whole lot of activities surrounding the Australian dollar. That notwithstanding, on Friday as well, we're expecting another very important news, which is we're also expecting another important news, which is the core PPI, all right, that is going to affect the United States dollar as well. Then lastly, by 4 p.m., we're also expecting the prelim consumer sentiment as well. So let's put an eye on all of these news and also see how we can ensure that we plan this news to all of our trading strategies and our trading style for the week. Not to forget, lest I forget, we're also expecting on Thursday there will be a bank holiday that is going to affect the euro because Italy is observing an holiday on that Thursday, and that is going to affect basically the euro. Okay, and of course we can also see how we can plan that into our trading day for the week. It's actually an Immaculate Conception Day that they will be observing in Italy. All right, so that being said, let's quickly look at the US dollar and see exactly what we will be expecting to happen on the US dollar. So for the US dollar, we've seen a massive rally to the upside, okay? And of course, we've been talking about this breaking from this trend line, of which obviously this had happened, okay? So since it has broken out from this massive trend line that had been on ever since the beginning of the year. All right, of course it started from last year, but ever since the beginning of the year we've observed this massive trend line, and the prices had been moving with respect to the trend line to the upside. All right, but then we have that break of structure here. So we have that break of structure here, and of course prices fell into the same spot on Friday last week, caused by the NFP, and of course today prices went into the zone very well. So this is what we'll probably be expecting in the coming weeks. We'll be expecting a little push of the dollar. Of course, the dollar had been devalued, or the dollar had been weakened for some while, okay? In fact, falling from an all-time high of about 114 to 104, it's a whole lot. So we might most likely see the dollar getting stronger this week. So with respect to that, okay, if this zone holds, if this particular zone holds as a support zone, okay, on the daily time frame, then we will be seeing the dollar getting strong this week. What will that mean for you as a trader? That simply means that, of course, we're going to see a bearish movement on Euro USD. I know a lot of people are surprised, like, is it going to be possible? Euro USD is on a buy. Don't worry, in just some few minutes, I'm going to be showing you why we might most probably be seeing a fall on Euro USD, a fall on GBP USD, a buy on USDJPY, a buy on USD CAD. Okay, so this is amazing. This is amazing. So yes, if we find a stronger dollar this week, then we will be seeing a falling Euro USD, a falling GBP, and then of course we will be seeing a buying USD JPY, and as well a buying USD CAD as well. All right. So that being said, let's quickly go over to our chart so that we will look at all of these assets and see how we can connect them together. As well, most likely if we see a stronger dollar, we might see a falling gold as well, okay? Not to forget. So let's just put that in mind, okay? So let's quickly look at Euro USD, starting with Euro USD. What are we expecting for the week? Hey guys, so this is it. So if we find a stronger dollar for this week, we will find a falling Euro USD. And of course, this is my Euro USD chart on the daily time frame. Okay, if I should be able to zoom out this, you will see how nicely this fall had been respected. This trend line had been respected on several occasions, right? So first at this spot, secondly at this spot, and then again at this spot. I don't see this trend line being broken just so easily, especially for this week. No, I don't see that. So I see this trend line holding its ground, saying, no, you have to respect me and go down, you know. Of course, yeah. So this is a very massive and strong trend line on the daily time frame, which had been respected on countless occasions. One here, and then of course the other one here, and then again here. Of course, today candle already is looking like a rejection candle on that trend line. Of course, if today's candle closes at least as a rejection candle, then it simply means from Tuesday, Wednesday, we will see a fall on Euro USD. So these are my speculations that Euro USD is going to apparently fall to around this particular level here, which is 1.03036. Okay, so we can actually take advantage of that. That's over like 230 pip movement to the downside in the coming week that I'm expecting perhaps Euro USD is going to make. All right, so let's watch out for today's candle. Let me zoom in so you can see today's candle that I'm talking about. All right, so this is today's candle. It's looking exactly like a rejection candle already on a trend line, which is an area of value. It simply means that it's more like a confluence that the market is going to do what? Depreciate. All right, so that being said, that's that's it for Euro USD. In the coming weeks, we see a sell off. Even if it's going to break off this trend line, we will most likely see a pull to this zone, and then before it finally breaks out from this trend line in the following weeks to come. The same thing happens on GBP USD. GBP USD is actually in a very strong resistance area as well. So this particular zone we're looking at here, was a support, and then it broke the support, retested and bounced back, and then again it retested that zone, but then was rejected. Prices was rejected, and again prices is back to this zone, and already today's candle as well is looking like a rejection candle. Okay, it's looking like a rejection candle already. All right, it's more like an inverted hammer, of course, telling you that there is going to be a downpour in the market. So let's expect the rain to begin to fall. So put up your umbrellas and let's expect the rain. All right, so let's quickly look at gold. Yeah, let's quickly look at gold. The same thing on gold is happening live here. So today gold started with a very massive bullish movement to the upside, and come on guys, myself, I had been sell-sentimented on gold for some time, but of course when I saw that massive bullish movement, I was like, okay, so what's gold going to do again? Let's watch out. But then let me just quickly show you guys perhaps my own opinion on what is going to happen on gold for this week. So if you look at gold very well, you would notice, let me zoom in so you see that line. You notice that this is also a valid trend line. Okay, this is also a valid trend line. And then of course, here it was caused by high volatility, so we might most likely not want to consider it this way. But of course, for now, our analysis are dynamic, but for now, let's have the trend line drawn this way, and then a second retouch, and this time around might be a third retouch. So there might be a pullback to this trend line, or most likely not a pullback to this trend line. We might still continue to see a falling gold. Now, why do I say that gold is most likely going to fall this week? That's because, so let me zoom in. So you see that that's because this particular area here was support, right? Support, and then it broke out from that support. This is a retest, and of course another retest. So if we have this rejection candle for today form completely as a rejection candle, then of course we would most likely see gold sell off, just like this rejection candle here that we see, right? This was a good rejection candle on an area of value, right? And then prices began to do what? Of course, it consolidated for a while, but then prices began to do what? Fall to the downside. So that's most likely what we might be seeing again this week. Okay, a rejection, and then prices might consolidate for a while, but then obviously there's going to be a massive sell-off on gold as well in the coming weeks. All right, so that's my sentiments on gold. So let me give you my sentiments on USDJPY as well. Remember, I told you something that, of course, if we see a stronger dollar for this week, then we will most likely see a buying USDJPY or a buying USD CAD. So this is the whole analysis, and this is the whole idea behind USDJPY. Remember, we've been following USDJPY for months right now, and of course, a month or 2 months ago, we said, of course, the US dollar being weakening was brewing, and of course we saw that really happen. It came to pass, and then we saw USDJPY sell off massively. And then of course this zone here was a good support zone that was broken, it retested and was rejected. This is another support zone, so to say, right? But then it also broke this zone, because why? It was a resistance here, it broke it, and then came back to test it here, and then broke it again. So this is what we're expecting. If we see a stronger dollar for this week, we would see USDJPY pull into the zone again for a retest. Okay, most likely that's what is going to happen. We're going to see this week, okay, most probably this week, USDJPY pull back into this zone as the dollar strengthens, right? And then from that zone, we're going to see a massive sell-off on USDJPY. All right, so the same analysis most likely will apply for the USD card. Not really the USD CHF, but I'm not looking at that right now. This is my favorite, and I'm giving my sentiments on it. All right, so let's quickly look at US oil for this week. So on US oil, we have the longest trend line that it was ever the longest trend line that US oil had ever obeyed was finally broken. Of course, we know that as of last week or 2 weeks ago. And then this was that pretty trend line on the weekly time frame. So we saw how this trend line held for months, right? It held US oil for months and saw how US oil rode all the way from about less than $10 per barrel, about $9 per barrel. US oil rode to over $123 per barrel. But that trend line finally is broken, and we're seeing a falling price in the US oil. Of course, we can tell that this is no longer the effect of the Ukraine and Russia war, okay? But it's partly it, but not mainly the effect of the Ukraine and the Russia war. So this is what we're expecting this week, right? For me personally, I'm expecting that perhaps we will have a little pull to the upside on US oil, perhaps prices coming back into $86 per barrel or so. And from $86 per barrel, that's a really significant resistant level. If that level holds as a resistant level, then of course we see a massive sell-off on US oil. As well, the current level where it is trading, which is $81.500 per barrel, it's another significant support and resistant level. Currently, it's acting as a resistant level. If this zone particularly holds, of course, we know it has been consolidating on that zone for about 3 days. Thursday last week, Friday last week, and then Monday this week. So if this zone is not broken, then we will see a sell-off from that zone. But if it is broken, the next significant level we're looking at is $86 per barrel. And from that zone, we will most likely see the sell-off that we're looking off for US oil. And then also on NASDAQ, NASDAQ is also bearish oriented at the moment. Of course, you can see with every indication, both with the trend line and the moving average crossovers as well, we can see that NASDAQ is bearish oriented. So for this week, what we'll most probably be seeing is if this particular zone here, which is a significant level at currently where it is now, all right, currently where it is now is a significant resistant level. If that level is broken, all right, if the bullish pressure is much and that level is broken, then we'll most likely see prices come into we'll most likely see prices come into somewhat around 12,519 zone, okay, 12,519 zone. And of course, from that level, we might most likely see a sell-off. But of course, if this zone holds as a resistance, then in the coming weeks, we would see, we're going to most likely see the NASDAQ 100 fall off back into somewhere around this level. And of course, if that level is effectively broken, then we're going to see it fall down back to 10,683. Now, not so much is also different from the Dow Jones, okay? So also on the Dow Jones, we see a trend line holding ground on the weekly time frame. Of course, this is a first test and a second test on that trend line. Will the Dow Jones be devalued? Will the Dow Jones still go down in prices? That we are yet to see happen and play out completely this week. So let me zoom out so that we can appreciate this trend line that is being drawn. Of course, we saw that here, and again another retest. Also, don't forget that the moving averages are still sell sentiments, though prices is trading against both moving average 100 and 200. But of course, we still know that so long as there is no crossover yet, then it simply means that the sell is still very much in play and valid. All right. So for this week, I'm expecting the Dow Jones to still make movements into 32,505 area. All right. Price level 32,505 area is where I'm expecting the Dow Jones to actually make its movements to. Of course, if that level is effectively cleared out, then we would most likely see the Dow Jones come back into areas like the 29,700 price level. All right, but that isn't going to happen this week. Of course, we all know that's a whole lot of bearish movement that is going to take place. All right, so I hope this video makes sense to you. We've talked about Euro USD, we've talked about GBP USD, we've talked about gold, we've talked about USDJPY, US oil, NASDAQ 100, and of course our favorite Dow Jones, which is the US 30 roll on equity platform. I hope this video makes sense to you. I hope all of this analysis helps you plan your week and also helps you understand the market better. I hope this video as well and all of these explanations helps you make more profits and make more blue trades on your trading for this week. If you're new to this YouTube channel, please do well to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also turn on the notification bell so you get notified every single time we drop informative and educative content just like this one. My name is 𝗏𝗟𝗏𝗧, and see you next week in the market outlook for next week. Bye.